It was the day everyone had been waiting for. Grand opening day at Dino Park, the world's first interactive dinosaur experience. The park was more than just a zoo. It was a spectacle of cutting-edge technology and real-life wonder. Kids clutched their parents' hands, wide-eyed at the towering Brachiosaurus grazing in the distance. Vendors pushed carts of Jurassic popcorn, and the sound of excited chatter filled the air. At the heart of it all stood Park Ranger Alex, watching the gates from atop the welcome platform. His khaki uniform was spotless, and his radio buzzed with updates from staff across the park. Nothing could ruin this perfect day. Or so he thought. In the underground control room, Dr. Mia adjusted her oversized glasses and sipped her 7th cup of coffee. "All right, we're ready for the show," she announced, her voice brimming with excitement. On her monitors, live feeds showed the crowd gathered at the T-Rex enclosure. Everything was going according to plan, or so it seemed. But just as the announcer began hyping up the audience, an alarming red light began flashing on Dr. Mia's console. "Malfunction detected. Gate 3, the robotic voice droned." Mia's heart sank. Gate 3. The raptor enclosure. Over by the T-Rex arena, Alex's radio crackled. Alex, We've got a situation," Mia stammered, her voice shaking slightly. "What kind of situation?" Alex asked, already sprinting toward the enclosure. "The kind with claws. Lots of claws," Mia said, apologetically. Sure enough, 3 velociraptors, small but undeniably crafty, were already out and about. The taller one led the pack, tilting its head curiously at a concession stand, while the other 2 darted toward a group of kids who had dropped an ice cream cone in shock. The park's loudspeakers crackled to life. "Ladies and gentlemen, please remain calm. Everything is under control," came the overly cheerful voice of the announcer. The crowd, however, was not buying it. People began scattering in every direction. Alex skidded to a stop just as the lead raptor knocked over a popcorn machine, covering itself in buttery debris. "Mia, this isn't containment. This is chaos," Alex hissed into his radio. I'm on it," Mia replied, furiously typing. "I just need to reset the gates remotely, but I need 5 minutes." "We don't have 5 minutes," Alex snapped, dodging a baby stroller that a mom abandoned in her panic. Thinking fast, Alex spotted a small transport cart parked nearby. He jumped in and shouted, "I'll corral them. You just fix the system." Meanwhile, Mia's fingers danced across the keyboard. Redirecting raptors. Activating sonic lure. Recalibrating gates. She muttered. Alex rolled the transport cart straight into the middle of the chaos. "Hey, lil dinos, over here!" He grabbed a jacket from the front seat and started flapping it wildly. The butter-coated raptor turned its head, curious. The other 2 perked their heads up too, as if thinking, "What's this guy doing?" Every second felt like an eternity. Finally, Mia's triumphant voice came through Alex's earbud. "Got it. Activating sonic lure. Now!" Above the chaos, a strange chirping sound echoed across the park. The raptors froze, and one by one, they turned toward the sound. Alex grinned as the pack started running, not toward the visitors, but back to their enclosure. The gates hissed shut behind them with a satisfying click. By the time the dust settled, Alex and Mia were standing side by side, watching the crowd slowly calm down. "Well," Alex said, wiping sweat from his forehead, Let's call that a soft opening. Mia laughed nervously. Next time, let's aim for at least one disaster-free day. The crowd, surprisingly unfazed, began to cheer as the announcer declared the situation was all part of the show. Kids waved their dinosaur-themed balloons, and even the popcorn-covered raptor became a viral sensation online. Alex and Mia shared a relieved smile. Disaster averted. For now. At Dino Park, the adventure was only just beginning. In the vast expanse of Cretaceous wilderness, there's no such thing as certainty, only instinct. And instinct was telling this velociraptor something it couldn't ignore. The creature's sharp toe, claws tapped lightly against the forest floor as it slunk between thick ferns and towering cycads. Its amber eyes darted skyward again. Right above the treetops, that massive figure was there, wings outstretched, soaring in lazy loops, a pteranodon. At first, the velociraptor thought nothing of it. After all, pteranodons were fish-eaters, not hunters of land-bound prey. But the way this one circled, it felt deliberate, purposeful. Could it really be stalking? It didn't matter if this pteranodon wasn't a predator by nature. If it thought of this raptor as weak, or worse, an easy target, it was in for a rude awakening. Keeping one eye on the creature overhead, the velociraptor crept forward. Its path wound through the dense underbrush, the forest unusually quiet except for the faint whoosh of the great creature's wings above. Each time the raptor thought it had shaken its aerial shadow, the silhouette reappeared, dipping lower, closer. The velociraptor's pulse began to race. Okay, if this was going to be a fight, better to pick the time and the place. Somewhere where it could strike first. Somewhere like this. It reached a clearing, a patch of rocky terrain surrounded by tall cliffs. Perfect. No more trees for the pteranodon to duck behind. Climbing atop a large stone, the velociraptor craned its neck to glare straight into the sky. Teeth glinted. A low growl rumbled from its throat. Enough running. The pteranodon, so vast and leisurely, suddenly folded its wings tight and dropped like an arrow. In a blink, it was there, swooping right toward the raptor with its sharp beak gleaming in the sunlight. With a shriek, the velociraptor leapt, powerful legs propelling it high into the air, claws outstretched. This pteranodon had underestimated its prey, and it would pay dearly. But then, a rush of sound, a deep rumble, like thunder cracking underground. Both creatures froze mid-motion, the velociraptor landing lightly on its feet as the pteranodon swooped back upward. The raptor turned its head toward the cliffs and saw it. The earth was sliding. No, not sliding. Collapsing. Tons of mud and debris cascaded down the cliff face, crashing wildly onto the clearing where it stood. Boulders, uprooted trees, and rivers of mud came barreling forward at terrible speed. The velociraptor bolted, its small form zigzagging wildly to avoid the falling rubble. Its mind barely had time to process what was happening, but through the chaos, one constant remained, a streak of shadow above, leading it forward. The pteranodon wasn't attacking. It wasn't even pursuing. It was guiding. Another chunk of hillside gave way behind the velociraptor, forcing it to leap across jagged terrain. And there was the pteranodon, not leaving, not fleeing the growing disaster. Instead, it swooped low, letting out a piercing cry, a sound that pulled the raptor's gaze toward a narrow path weaving out of the danger zone. The velociraptor didn't question. It ran. In seconds, the mudslide swallowed the clearing entirely. Earth cracked and groaned beneath the enormous weight of the debris. But the velociraptor, thanks to its guide, had made it to safer ground. A rocky ridge overlooking the chaos below. Breath heaving and legs trembling, it watched the remaining dust settle. The world grew still again. And then, from above, a flutter of wings. The pteranodon circled once more, this time slower, almost lazily, before banking away into the open sky. No ambush, no stalking predator. It simply disappeared, heading toward the rising sun. The velociraptor stood there for a long moment, its keen mind piecing it all together. The pteranodon had never been an enemy. It hadn't wanted prey or power. Instead, it had simply wanted to warn the raptor, to save it from certain doom. This moment, a near miss with catastrophe, wasn't just about survival. The raptor had learned something it didn't yet have words to express, but it was etched deep in its instincts now. Not every shadow is a threat. Not every approach signals harm. In the ancient and unforgiving wilderness, where every day brought new dangers, finding an unexpected ally, even one as unlikely as a creature of the sky, could be the difference between life and death. And maybe, just maybe, that lesson wasn't reserved for raptors or pteranodons. So here's the question for you. Have you ever assumed someone was out to get you, only to find out they were helping? What did that experience teach you? Just like our velociraptor learned, sometimes it's worth asking what someone's intentions truly are before assuming the worst. Being open to help, even when it feels strange or unexpected, just might lead you to safety. Or something even greater.